Hello guys and welcome to another video. Now we're at a lake that I've been waiting to fish for a little while now. It's been on my list of lakes I want to check out, and it's not until the fact that a friend of mine's been here recently and caught a couple of big fish, a couple of mid-50s, that I decided I'm going to come down and I'm going to commit to a proper session on here. I've already gone for a little walk round, and as it's a Sunday, pretty much every single swim is free. In fact, I think there's no proper carp anglers fishing the entire lake. There's a few kids with little float rods and stuff like that, but in terms of proper carp anglers, I've got the pick of the entire lake, and I will imagine that'll be the case for pretty much the whole week until the weekend rolls around again, because it's one of those lakes where it's busy with locals on the weekend, but other than that, it's pretty quiet. So what I'm going to do is getting on, and there's a point swim that you can park in. Sounds quite lazy, but I'm going to do the night here because it also gives me access to the middle of the lake. Now the lake's shaped like a horseshoe, one big arm either end, and the central point, the point swim, gives me access to that central bowl where I could be intercepting any fish passing after they've spawned. And I've also got access to the dam wall, which is always a good place to start. So I'm going to start here. I'm not going to go crazy committing bait or anything, and I'm going to be absolutely prepared to move if I need to in the morning. But I think it's a good place to set up, get myself sorted, relax, chill out, soak in the environment, and also keep an eye out and see if I can locate any of the fish. It's one of them places where I think it's gonna be quite hard to find the fish. Once we find them, I'm hoping it won't be too difficult to catch them. So let's stop waffling, let's get the stuff out of the van, and let's start fishing. I began to set up camp, wanted to get everything sorted for my base before getting to work with the rods. Not only did I want to get organised, but I also thought I might see a carp or two show while sorting myself out. I decided to check the weather, and it unfortunately predicted a large thunderstorm to roll in within the next few hours. I decided to change my approach slightly. I wanted to bait some areas up either of the arms in case the fish weren't in the main bowl. I wanted a plan B to fall back on, and I thought quickly going up to check the areas in the boat and putting a good dumping of bait would mean that, should I not catch anything by the time the thunderstorm passed the following afternoon, I would have an option up either arm of the lake to fall back on. I knocked up 2 big buckets of bait that consisted of mixed-sized monster shrimp and citrus boilies, tiger nuts and particle. I headed off up each arm in an attempt to find an appealing area that looked worthy of a big helping of bait. I did a quick lap of the whole lake and found an area up either arm that looked promising. Shallower water with snaggy tree-lined margins, some of which encroached into the water. Perfect spawning territory. If the fish had spawned recently, they may still be hanging around here, and if they were yet to spawn, then they would definitely be visiting the area. I gave both spots a good helping, spreading it over a wide area. I felt like this would be a great plan B should the point swim fail to produce. As I was making my way back from the second spot, the thunderclouds began to tumble across the valley before hitting the lake as the heavens opened. Well, I told you the rain was coming. I just got caught out baiting up, but I managed to bait up both arms. It's absolutely chucking it down, lightning all over. I think I got away with it. I think if I sat any longer it'd be a little bit dangerous. So I've not got rods out, but I'm sat in my bivvy, trying to dry myself off, but I'm happy that I baited. I'm just going to wait for this to pass, and hopefully I get a little window where I can get some rods out as well. But yeah, it's I'm nice and cozy in here. I'm a little bit wet, but I've got everything sort of semi-set up. Just need to get a break in the weather so I can get rods out. Okay, the rain is slowly subsiding, but it's still not stopped. So I'm going to try and prepare everything in here. As you see, it's pretty cramped, bringing everything in to try and protect it from the rain. It's going to be even more cramped with 4 rods trying to set up, but I'm sure we'll manage. Right, I'm hoping you can see that all right in this cramped little bivvy. It's not the easiest filming. Combi multi-slip D-rig, been using it so much recently for when I'm fishing wafters, snowman presentations. I absolutely love it. Citrus bottom bait, cultured, 12mm citrus topper, pop up. Yeah, let's get it out there. I'm literally going to get out there, find a spot I like, drop it, a handful of bait, get back in. I'm not going to do anything crazy right now. I think that's the plan for tomorrow, to really explore. Right now I just want to get some rods in the water. I've pre-baited other areas. I think it's a good start for the first day here. You can get a bonus fish in the night, perfect. If not, we reevaluate in the morning. But yeah, let's get it out. Jeez, we had a lot of rain. Look at that. That's a good couple of inches at the back. In about 2 hours, absolutely tipped it down. Right, let's do this, come on! The rods were dropped without the utmost precision, but I found decent areas along the dam wall and along the far and near margin. A handful of bait accompanied the rigs, and I was soon headed back to the relative dry of my bivvy. Oh, that was hard work. Oh. But they're out, all 4 rods are out. decent spots, decent drops, nice bit of bait round them. For the first night in the middle of a thunderstorm, and we got bait in elsewhere, can't really complain too much. I'm going to quickly see what the weather's saying for the rest of this trip. I know it's supposed to get better after sort of Tuesday. Oh, more thunderstorms in the morning, I think. So this is my prediction for what's going to happen. I think we're either going to get woken up to, one thing I know we're not going to get woken up to is the guard to Pesh going, "You can't fish here," because I know for a fact I'm following all the rules. You can night fish where I am, you can use boats, so there should be no problems. So I think one of three things are going to happen. I'm going to wake up to a pike angler taking out one of my rods. I'm going to wake up to a tench, or I'm going to wake up to a 50 pounder. Those are my predictions. One of those three things is going to happen. I'm hoping it's going to be the 50 pounder, but now my luck, it'll probably be the pike angler. Right, I'm going to have a cup of tea, I'm going to go to bed, it's been a long day, so I'll see you guys in the morning with the 50 pounder or with a pike angler. We'll find out tomorrow. Well, good morning, and I've got to say, we didn't catch the tench, we didn't catch the 50 pound mirror, and we didn't catch the pike angler. So my premonitions did not come true, but I slept incredibly well. I think I've slept that well on the bank for ages. It must have been about 2 AM by the time I finally got to sleep. After going out in that rainstorm, baiting up, getting rods out, it'd been a long drive as well that day, so I instantly fell asleep. Yeah, I feel refreshed now, good, ready to go. Nothing in the night, like I said. What I'm going to do is I'm going to sit up here, watch the water. There could be another storm coming in. There's a few ominous looking rain clouds, so I don't think we're fully safe from the rain yet. So I don't want to start moving, doing anything too crazy just yet. I'm just going to sit here, watch the water, see if I can see any carp. If not, this evening I think I might go up the arms, just sit there in the boat and see if I can see anything, and then tomorrow, if I don't catch anything in the night, then tomorrow I will move to one of the spots I baited. Yeah, the reason I don't like this spot as much, the more I've been thinking about it, is because it is right in the middle of the night zone, and sometimes I think when you're in the thick of that night zone and there's areas of the lake where you can't fish so much, and of course this place you can drive behind, it gets a lot of pressure, the fish know the score and they soon move off. So I'd rather go to the end of the night zone swims, somewhere where it gets a little bit less pressure and I feel a little bit more confident, but I just want to make sure that there's carp there, because if I go up one arm and they're at the other arm, then it's a complete waste of time. So at least here I've got a chance of maybe picking off a fish. So I'm not going to do anything too crazy just yet. I'm not going to up and move just because I've not caught, which I think a lot of people do sometimes. Sometimes you just got to wait it out a little bit, give it a little bit of time. So sit back, chill, enjoy coffee, watch the water, see if we can see any fish, and go from there. After watching the water for a few hours and seeing nothing, I decided to reel in, get in the boat, and go to check out my bait spots to see if there's any obvious signs of carp. Just seen 2 carp swimming past 3 carp and a bream. And this isn't a million miles from our bait. Big carp ripping up the bottom. You can see me. It's a nice fish. He's staring right at me eye to eye. Hello mate, I'm gonna catch you later, bro. He's gonna absolutely crap himself when I get out of here with them like that. Hello mate. Go and drift off, I don't want to scare you too much. Okay, just got back from going for a little explore and we found them. Come on, I mean, fishing these big lakes, the hardest part, the biggest part of the battle is finding carp. So we found a few and a couple of them looked absolutely massive. Definitely some good 40 pounders in there. So I'm gonna pack up now. Looks like the weather's rolling in again, so I'm gonna try and do this as quickly as possible to avoid getting soaked, but no, my luck, we will. I'm gonna get loaded up now, get in the boat, get on the move, and catch some carp. So we've arrived in the swim. Not quite as open and as nice as the previous one, but the carp are up and down that margin. That's where I saw the majority of fish. Saw 2 or 3 big ones as well. So you've got to fish where the fish are. Get everything sorted, head out, drop rods, and catch a few carp. It was a simple case of going across to the far margin and placing rods along the baited area, fishing as close to the submerged trees as I dared.
I managed to get 2 rods in position just as another rainstorm rolled in. It wasn't a big storm, only lasting for 10 or 15 minutes, and as soon as the rain cloud passed over, one of my rods were away.
No way. Get in there. Stop! I was not expecting that. Bloody hell. As long as it keeps moving, I'm not going out in the boat for it. Got 2 rods out. That rainstorm came in. I was about to set up the 3rd rod and we're in. Feels like it's stuck on something. Let's go. Let's go, go, go. Oh, this could be difficult to land, I won't lie. Oh no. Tell you what, he ain't a big one. He's proper doing me. In the net. Right, now let me get out of this water, put the rod down because I can hear that thunderstorm. Oh, you don't want to be out in this.
I let the fish rest in the net whilst I waited for the storm to fully pass, and whilst doing so, the other rod burst into life.
Come on, get him out of there. No. No, come off. I think. Did it come off?
Sadly, the fish came off as I was giving it too much to pull it away from the snags. I had no rods in the water, so went to re-drop them. On the way back from dropping the second rod, the first rod I dropped only a few minutes before was away.
Well, this isn't ideal.
Somehow, I managed to land this fish. I slipped it back after netting, as it was only small. Before I could deal with the first fish, the only rod in the water was away too.
Oh my god, I can't even. This is crazy.
Unfortunately, I went on to lose that fish. I had a few more bites after this too, again losing them by putting too much pressure on the fish to get them away from the snag. Jacob rang me at this point to discuss some things about a tackle shop, ripper tackle, and whilst on the phone to him, the only rod I had in the water ripped off.
Oh, I gotta get. Yeah, on the GoPro, lad. I gotta get out the bloody snags. Every single rod I put out has gone within 15 minutes. This is absolutely ridiculous. I can't fish like this by myself. Because if I'm out in the boat, I'm getting bites. It's too snaggy, don't get in there, please. There's so many carp up here. This is insane. This is ridiculous. If I wasn't so gutted that I'd lost a couple, I'd be absolutely over the moon, but I'm just trying to figure out the best way to fish it. What's this one saying then? He doesn't. Oh, scaly banger. Oh, he's all right. He's all right. He's all right, and he's in the net. Come on. Oh, that's nice redemption. That. Yeah, he's decent, that one. He is very good. Right. Let's do these fish, shall we? It's been hectic, so hectic. Having bites whilst I'm out in the boat. Lost a couple of fish as well where I'm giving them too much trying to get away from the snags. But I think we've had 6 bites in probably an hour and 20 minutes of actual fishing time with rods in the water. This is the last one I caught, biggest one as well, low 30. I'm gutted I lost those ones because I know there's so many 50 pounders in here. And I just think, have I lost a 50 there? Like I said, that's the aim of this trip, to catch a big one, a real big one, mid 40, 50 pounder. And have I lost that already? But it's days only, the section I'm fishing here, which I thought was gonna be a problem, and I thought I was gonna try and sneak rods out in the night. I'm definitely not doing that. I'm not even gonna put rods out again, even though I've got about another hour and a half fishing time. I'm gonna go out, put a bit of bait in, and reevaluate, get rods ready for the morning, get backup rods ready so that when I get a bite, I can go straight back out again and just try and enjoy this carnage. I'm hoping it will last, but I'm hoping I can deal with it. But yeah, epic stuff after a slow start. I'll quickly get the other one to show you as well, and then we'll call it a night. Here we go, this is the first one. Had one smaller than this, obviously had the one I just put back, lost a couple as well. I think it's 6 bites I had. Crazy really when you think of how slow the first 24 hours were. Like I said, I'm gonna put a bit of bait out now, head off to bed, and probably not even get up at first light to get the rods out if I'm not feeling it. Like, that's how mad the action's been today. I think the best thing I can do is put some rods out in the morning, don't go crazy, don't put all 4 out, and just pick bites off and do my best to deal with the action, because there's a lot of fish stacked up here on that far margin, and now I just gotta fish it sensibly, effectively, and try and reap the rewards. Right. Crazy. What a crazy couple of hours fishing.
That was a ridiculous hour or 2 of fishing, and I was feeling a little overwhelmed with the volume of bites. I thought the best thing to do would be to get base camp organised, prep everything as best as I could for the following day before getting my head down with an alarm set early for the following morning to get the rods out in this days only section.
Okay, we've got 3 rods prepped, ready for tomorrow. I'm here watching Alan and Mark in Japan. What an epic film that is on Nash TV. It just came out tonight. And that has given me such a buzz to fish. Honestly, I wish I had rods out now, but I think the best I can do is get everything ready for the morning. I've put loads of bait in already. I put probably about 3 kilos on each spot. We've also got full moon. And each one of these tomorrow, I guarantee, will be in a carp's mouth. Right, I've eaten, let's get to bed, alarm set, wake up in the morning, get the rods out, catch some carp, and let's catch a big one.
The following morning was one of those moments that solidify why carp fishing is the best pastime in the world. A beautiful misty morning sunrise, the sound of nature all around, and the anticipation of an imminent bite. 3 rods were dropped without too much difficulty, and the waiting game was on.
1, 2, 3. Somehow we've done it. Got 3 rods out without one of them going. Let's see how long that lasts for. Will we even have time for a coffee before we get a bite? That beautiful sunrise. Epic. Right, let's see if we can have a coffee. Wicked! Oh, the bites are really cool. It took a little bit longer than I thought, to be honest. I've managed to make a coffee, drink the coffee, little bit of Instagram scrolling, and then just a single beep, beep, and I look up and I can see the rod tip going over, and then it goes whee. Yeah, love it. He's trying to get back over there, and now he is. Oh no. Right, let me try and pull this one away. Right from that snag. Oh, Right, doubling up here. Oh, that one's come off. Well, it looks like today's going to be another action-packed day. I think you're going to see lots of GoPro footage of me playing fish. Go in that net, come on. Nice. First one of the day. Lovely stuff. No! What on earth? How has that come off? I'm not even giving it that much. A tench. Well, it's not quite been as crazy as yesterday evening, thankfully almost, because that was just ridiculous. I was almost a little bit overwhelmed with what was going on. We have had quite a few bites though. I've only managed to land one and a tench. Now, I think we've lost two. And the reason we've lost them is the hooks are pulling. And I think that where I'm giving them so much trying to get them away from the snags, they're just popping out. So I've moved over to the X pattern hooks, which are slightly thicker wire gauge, slightly bigger barb, meant for this type of fishing, this hit and hold type of fishing, European fishing. So I'm hoping making that change over means I'm going to land more of them. I can still give them everything I need to give them to get them away from that tree line, but I've got a good chance to land them. This is the one I did land. Lovely little fish. I mean, check out the scales on it. What a cool carp. But yeah, I would love to catch everything that I'm hooking. Right now, I think it's about 50% hook to land ratio, which is appalling. So we need to fix up, change those hooks over, and I'm sure by doing that, we'll see an increase in that hook to land ratio. Right, let's get this one back. Rods are back out. I'm sure it won't be long until we get another bite. Oh, for sake.
One rod went solid in the snags, so I decided to leave it on the alarm whilst I dealt with the other fish. Sadly, this fish also managed to make it into the snags, or so I thought. After going out in the boat, I realised that the fish was caught around some discarded line that was trailing out into the water. I managed to unsnag the fish and land it before heading back to shore to try and deal with the other carp. The second carp was well and truly stuck in the snag, and what I did next was probably not what I would recommend most people to do. With the fish entangled in a submerged bush, I decided to jump into the lake and try and free the fish by hand. I should say that I'm a very confident open water swimmer, and I feel comfortable trying to do something like this. If you don't feel the same confidence in your swimming ability, do not try this yourself. But for me, I feel like I had the ability to get in the water, and I was desperate to ensure I freed the fish from the snag and that it wasn't left tethered if I just pulled for a break.
I'm going in. I do not know how I've landed that carp, but I've landed that carp. It involved a lot of swimming underwater, biting through the main line, playing it by hand. Oh my God. Nice common in the net, Jesus. Oh, I cannot believe that. Oh, I had to go in, untangle it from all the wood, and then it was so tangled, I actually bit through the braid underwater, freed it, and then sort of wrapped the braid around my arm up to the leader and was letting it tow me around like a horse and cart. I mean, this is, if you did this at a lake in England, oh my God, you'd be chased out of the place with pitchforks. But these wild venues, they are pretty savage, the environment, and sometimes you got to make do. But the most important thing is, instead of a carp snagged to a tree over there, I've got a nice big common in the net. Well, I think that little hardware change has definitely helped out, because those last two fish, I would not have landed them unless I changed over those X pattern of hooks. Those slightly bigger barbs, thicker wire gauge, it just gives you a better hook hold. I put the other one back, it was only a small common. This one slightly bigger, low 30 maybe. Bit of a hairy job going out to land it. I'm sure some people are going to complain about it in the comments, but I would much rather do what I did, go out, jump in, free it from the snags by hand. Yeah, I'd much rather do that than leave it with one of those big X hooks in its mouth, potentially tethering around a fair bit of line if I pulled for a break or tangled up in that mess. I think I did the right thing there. It's not always pretty, this style of fishing, but at the end of the day, if you've got a fish on the bank, it's much better than having it tethered to a bit of woodwork out there. So I'm very happy with this. I'm hoping now, with that change of hook pattern, I put a lot more snag leader on as well. I'm hoping those changes means I can land a lot more fish. It's still going to be very hairy, the battles, just pulling away from those snags, but right now, we've landed the last two, things are looking up. Yeah, happy days.
I headed back out to re-drop the rods. I was getting through plenty of bait this session, but the fish were hungry. The next few hours resulted in consistent bites, but most of the fish were small. I later found out that the local federation stocked this venue with smaller carp a winter or so back, and it seemed as though I was catching these fish. Thankfully, I was landing all the bites I had. The Claw X pattern hooks I was using were superb. I will link them in the description of this video. I cannot recommend them enough for this type of angling. However, I only had a limited supply of them. Would I be able to catch a decent fish before running out and having to go back to a less secure hook pattern for this style of hit and hold angling? Thankfully, as the sun began to dip below the surrounding hills, I hooked into a fish that felt much better.
I'm sure this is a big carp. I'm going to go out in the boat, I think, because it feels like a good one.
The fish had somehow managed to swim around an outcrop snag and had wrapped itself around a submerged tree. I remained calm, confident that my setup could deal with the situation. I could see the carp on the other side of the snag and knew she was a decent size.
Oh my God, there he is. Oh, there she is. Looks big too. I'm gonna do this. No, don't go around that tree. How's it even got in here? I thought I got it miles away. No, not in there. Get in that net. Big carp in the net. Yes! Come on! Yes! I did not think I was going to land that. Oh, it's a bit of a brute. Oh my God. It was in there. So what I must have done is, it's come at an angle, because I gave it so much that it must come at an angle, and just somehow got in. Thankfully it didn't come around all this. It came in here and got in there. Oh, Jesus. Right, I'm going to preface this by saying thank God for that X pattern of hooks. When they first came out, we talked about them. I thought they were unneeded, unnecessary, too brutish. I've got to say, since I changed over to them this session, I don't think I've lost a single fish, whereas before, I think I'd landed less than half the ones I'd hooked. So, they're definitely working. And I tell you what, that battle, and amongst all that wood was absolutely epic. It was horrible. I really didn't think I was going to land this, especially when I could see it underneath the water, this big old mirror. I just thought, how on earth am I gonna land that? Well, here we go, we've landed it. What a buzz, man. So happy with that. Oh, it's wicked. What I came for, mid 40, although I did say 50, didn't I? So we've still got 2 more days. I think we've got a chance for a few more. Sun's fading now. I'm probably gonna get the rods back out again for the last hour and a half. But if I don't catch any more tonight, I'm not that bothered. We'll go again tomorrow. I'll bait up again and yeah, rinse and repeat. Land as many as we hook, hopefully. Always heavy, because now we've got the hardware right. They seem to like the bait. Now we've just got to catch them. Oh. Oh. How epic is that? Solo, big lake adventures, big carp. Come on. Yes.
I released the big mirror back into the lake. What a buzz to have landed such a decent carp from a savage environment. The lake felt alive that evening, and I was enjoying one of those carp fishing highs that we spend so much of our time searching for. I had another few small carp that night before I reeled the rods in, baited heavily, and grabbed some sleep.
Morning, another beautiful sunrise here. Absolutely love it. Mist rolling off the lake. Yeah, it's beautiful. I'm about to put the rods back out. What I did last night was I baited up with some bigger boilies, 24mm, and I put bigger hook baits on. So I'm hoping that's going to put me off from catching any of the small carp. It's nice to get the action, but at the end of the day, it's pretty pointless catching 15-pounders, and we caught a lot of them yesterday. So I'm putting bigger boilies on, and I'm hoping that means we're only going to catch sort of the 25-pound plus carp, and hopefully we're going to catch a big one again. That's what I'm after. Obviously, this is why I come on this trip, just to catch big carp, really. That's the main objective. And we caught one yesterday. We're going to catch a few more. So let's drop the rods now, come back, and enjoy the rest of this sunrise.
With the rods out, it was time to sit back and relax. I knew it wouldn't take long until I had the first bite of the day.
Oh, nice scaly one. Some lovely carp in here. Oh yeah, he's alright. We'll take him. We'll definitely take him in the net, mate. Come on. Woohoo! Oh, well, the action wasn't as quick this morning, swapping over to them bigger boilies, but that is definitely bigger than the average size we have been catching. And quite a nice scaly one. Oh yeah, that's a lovely carp. Check him out. Well, it took a little bit longer to get the first bite, but as expected, moving over to those bigger hook baits. And whilst we've not caught a giant, we have definitely put off the smaller fish, and that is a lovely carp to start the day with. Check him out. Mid-20, but nice scaly one. There's some lovely mirrors in here. Really nice scaly things. So yeah, well happy with that. Looks like the plan's working. Action's not too hectic, and we're not getting pestered by the small ones. Happy days. This little fish here, I absolutely love him. We used to get him in the big lakes in Switzerland where I grew up. My brother used to call them sunfish wrasse, but I'm pretty sure they're pumpkin seed fish. And you can spot them from these little clear spots in the big lakes where they make their nests. They're so aggressive, they spend the whole time. Oh!
I released the small mirror straight back as there was no need to take her back to the bank. I received another take shortly after getting back to the bank, which turned out to be a bream.
Ugh. Ugh. Horrible things. Jog on, mate. After the fish this morning, we've caught a few small ones and then lost the last two, and obviously now we're fishing the bigger hook baits. Every one you lose, you know it's got the potential to be a little bit bigger. One wasn't a big, and I could see it around this random snag before the hook popped out. Now, the hooks are the reason, I think, because up until midway through the session where my hook to land ratio improved, I moved over to the X pattern of hook for claw and claw long shank. Sadly, I only had a couple of sample packs of them in my in my tackle box, and I've run out now, but I've got X pattern of hooks, just different patterns, and they're all straight point. Now, I hate straight point hooks. I think that they're very poor at remaining fish's mouths. I know some people swear by them and never lose fish on them. I think a lot of the time it's about the rig you use and the way you play them. I think all that combined. But for me personally, I've never ever got on with straight point hooks. And in my head, there's a reason for that. It goes in, and there's nothing really besides the bob to stop it popping back out again. So for me, I don't think they're that great at remaining fish's mouths. And I've had 2 bites there on straight point hooks, even though they're X pattern, and they've both come off. So yeah, it's a little bit frustrating. I feel like I've only got myself to blame. The action today's not been amazing, and I was expecting that because of obviously the change in hook baits. I was expecting a little bit more. I do think I perhaps pushed the fish off. I was half debating a move, but I've obviously just had those 2 bites in the evening period, and I think I am going to wait it out here for the last day tomorrow, just to try and catch one more big carp. I think we will get a couple more bites tomorrow, even though it's definitely slowed down. I mean, especially from that very first evening when we dropped on here, that was ridiculous, the action we had then. And I do feel like I could have landed a few more of these fish, and I've only got myself to blame. But you can't dwell on these things. In the past, I would have dwelled on lost fish a lot more, but nowadays I try and write it off in my head straight away. Try and learn from it, what you can do to improve and land more fish in the future. But you can't sit here thinking it over and over again. You just drive yourself mad. So we're going into the evening period now. All 3 rods are out. I've got 1 rod that's been out all day on a big 24mm hook bait, and it's only got a handful of boilies over the top, and that's on the big fish spot from yesterday. If that goes, I'll be very excited, because I think it could be a big one. The other 2 that I just lost the fish on, they're back out as well. So we're at a good time now to get a bite. I'd expect a bite or 2 in the next hour. So yeah, it's not been an amazing day today. We had a good start, but other than that, yeah, it's not been fantastic.
I sat there that evening watching the water with some different thoughts going through my mind. Why has the action slowed down? Where are the real big fish? And how can I improve my hook to land ratio now that I'd ran out of the X pattern beaked point hooks? As I was thinking all this, my rod was away. It felt like a small fish, which I managed to easily manoeuvre away from the snags. As I was playing the fish into open water, my big fish rod also burst into life. With a bit of rod swapping, I was able to guide both fish away from the snags and steer them both towards the landing net.
Yeah, my big fish spot has produced a 6-pounder. Well, both fish are pretty small. The biggest one's probably scraping 20 pounds, so not massive, but at least we're not going to bed on a 4-fish loss. I'm a little bit good, I won't lie. Like yesterday and then first thing this morning, I really thought I'd figured it out. I knew what hardware to use, I knew what hooks to use, knew where to fish, which was going to be a case of catching fish and landing them. And since then, the action slowed right down, and when I have had bites, I've lost them. I do generally believe it's the straight point hooks. You may disagree with me, but I've always been a believer that beak points are the way to go. I'm going to slip these back, put a little bit of bait out, and we'll rinse and repeat tomorrow. Change over to the claw size 2s and just hope for improved results. Right, see you later guys, I'll catch you in the morning.
I decided to stop using the straight point X pattern hooks and change over to size 2 regular claws. These are very meaty hooks with a beak point, and although not the X pattern variant, I still have a lot of faith in them to perform well in this snaggy, hit and hold style of angling. The following day would be my last day of fishing, so I wanted to make it count. I was up early to drop the rods, confident that I was fishing the best I could for the environmental constraints I was facing. All the rods were dropped with a handful of big boilies. I was here for the big carp, that was my only focus. However, action was slow, and I spent most of the morning watching a shoal of perch aggressively hunting in the margin. It wasn't until midday that I started to get some action.
There we go. First one of the morning. Well, it's been super slow this morning. This is my first bite, and it's nearly, I think it's midday. So yeah, it's not been the most productive day, but I'm gonna stick it out. and stay here till this evening, and then that's the end of the session. So I'm hoping we can winkle out one more. We get out this little one for you. Caught loads of these. Loads of these little ones. I found out that they've stocked them this winter, I think, with a load this sort of size. So hence why we're catching quite a few of them. We want a big one, that's what we're here for. We caught that big one earlier in the session. Another one like that would be lovely. Right, I'm out the wind now. Can play him properly. This is a big carp, man. Bloody big carp. Heart is going. Got one hand held onto the tree. No, come on. Don't go in there, please. I'm begging you, man. Oh my God, he's massive. 50 pound. 50 pound, I think. All we need to do is get in this tree line. Massive. That is massive. Let's go in my net right now. He's in. He's in. He's in. Oh my God. Look at the size of him. Ooh, good 40. Yes. Wallop. That is a wallop. Oh, get in there. Carp fishing. There's a lot of lows. We've had a lot of lows this trip, losing all them fish, figuring it out, not having the right hooks to carry on with the plan. We've also had some highs. We had that big fish the other day, and now we've had an even bigger fish. An absolute brute of a public lake fish. Ugh, 58 pounds, absolute behemoth of a carp. Look at the size of him, the shoulders on him, can't believe we landed him. Epic battle out in the snags. What a special fish. The mission of this trip was to catch a big one. Mission accomplished. If we don't catch any more, I'm not bothered, but I think we will. But I don't think we're gonna catch anything like this. This is, yeah, as good as it gets, pretty much. Thank you, mate. Yes, another solo trip complete with another big carp. So happy. Get in there, come on. All worthwhile. Yes!
Thank God for that. It wasn't the most conventional of fishing sessions, but that is the story of these public lake trips sometimes. Plenty of battling against the elements, plenty of heartache, but if you play your cards right and keep plugging away, a big carp may just come your way exactly as it did on this occasion. I went on to land a few more fish that day with steady action until the evening period. I landed another lovely mirror just as I was packing up, which really was a fantastic leaving present from the lake. I was soon loaded up and heading back to my van, bidding the lake farewell before heading back to the UK. Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next upload.